Hello and welcome from Donington Park for round 2 of the VBTCR Championship. Now, this track claims a sizable portion of Britain's motor racing heritage, being the country's first true road circuit to be built and the oldest still in current usage. From the classic Grand Prix of the 1930s through to the modern era, this East Midlands venue has posed a popular challenge for riders and drivers alike. I am Tim Cox, and of course I have Shane Dunn alongside me in the production booth, as always, coming to you live from the VBTCR Broadcast Centre. Let's talk about round 1 at Silverstone, and what a season opener it was. Of course, in race 1, Perish in his first outing in the championship, claiming victory. What a way to kickstart your season. Elliott, he finished in second with Anderson in third. And of course the new AM Championship as well. That saw Steele take the victory in AM, with Goodacre and Sky running out the podium in AM. Now, as always, race 2 threw up a bit of a unique conundrum, as it so often did last season as well, with unexpected people on the podium. But the big story that came out of race 2 was the fact we had an AM driver on the podium overall. Goodacre, what a drive from him. He was chuffed to pieces with that one, securing third overall, and of course the victory in AM, with Morris and Sky running out the podium in AM, and Money and Dandridge finishing first and second respectively on the podium overall. But as we head here from Donington Park for race 3 and race 4 of round 2 of the championship, anything can happen, and I'm sure anything will. Let's take a look at the championship standings and what happened last week and what that meant for the championship. To start off things, Dandridge, he is leading the way on 75 points, with Perish and Pearson closely behind, only 5 points behind on 70 points apiece. And great to see 3 different nationalities in the top 3 in the championship overall. Jacob Money, he's 5 points behind the top 3 on 65 points, with Max Borganson only a point behind him in the 5th place. Jack Johns, well, he won't be going anymore after his move out of the championship. He's on 59. Al Neal and Duncan Murray are tied on points on 57 for 7th place, with Joseph Gibson on 50 points. Starting to get a little bit cut adrift in these early stages, but still everything to play for throughout the rest of the season. Goodacre, after that win in AM, he's on 48, with Elliott, Bailiff, Smith, Sky, Fry, Barkley, Van Olst and Morris rounding out your top 18, taking down to 33 points. There's Fraser Garrity in 19th place on 29 points, with Thomas Keane only 2 points behind on 27. Nick Kent, he's on 24 in the TR powered by Geeks Energy car, with Mark McCabe in 22nd, tied on 19 points with Jack Mays. Paul Clist in 16 points with Shane Dunn. Series organisers can be disappointed by that one, down in 25th on 14, tied with Rick Edwards. Derek Grauver, he's in 27th, with Simmons, Thornton, Martin and Glees. The last of our point scorers are taking us down to 3 championship points. Now let's take a look at the standings. Of course, Neil Goodacre with that podium overall victory in race 2, meaning he is leading the way on 48 points. Sky, 2 third places, sees him in 2nd place, only 5 points behind her leader at the moment. Scott Morris, leading his teammate on 33 and 24 points. Nick Kent just behind him in 4th place. Still, everything to play for. They're starting to get a little bit cut adrift at this early stage. Paul Clist, he is in 5th on 16 points with Ricky Edwards, the Welshman. He's on 14 in 6th place, with Simmons on 5 points, with Martin and Goldies tied on 3 points each for 8th place, with McGarity, Steele and James yet to score. So let's look at the team's championship. Pulses Esports leading the way on 123 points. Manfred Mini Huskenveld only 3 points behind them though on 120. They're looking good. What a start to the season for those two teams. Sapphire Simsport on 104, with UK Sim Racing on 98. 7 points behind them are Goldwing Motorsport on 91, taking it to 5th place, with Verve Racing Team on 75, Positively Racing on 65, with CR powered by 8 Keys Energy, Team Ord and Checkers Racing rounding out your top 10. Like I said, trackside Anson on pole for race 1. Let's get ready to go racing at Donington Park, and the green flag waves and we are away. And Elliott not getting the best of start. Neil, what a start from him. He swoops round to the outside. Can he make up 2 places off the start? And the Audi RS3, he's going to have his work cut out. He just understeers out wide. Now we've got the fight back from Johns and Elliott. Oh no, and Neil, he's sent spinning early on, and he's taken with him there. I think that's Van Olst, isn't it? As we head down through the circuit for the first time. Our top 2 really breaking away. Anderson and Elliott Smith trying to find some progress to catch up with him, but there's a big long train looming behind him. They're all coming along for the fight, and a bit of infighting in the midfield. Some banging doors you can hear there. Gibson making a bit of progress. They're coming onto Noah's Ark here, all side by side, 2 by 2, and everyone looking like they're just about making it through here as we come through Coppice and head down Starkey Straight for the first time. But oh no, just John's there with the slowdown and falling right through the order. Met Pearson, he's on the inside, and surely this has got to be 4th place for him. Good strong start here. Just see Fry just losing a bit of momentum there through the Fogarty S's as we come down to the Melbourne hairpin. Pearson goes defensive to the inside, runs it in a bit deep, needs to be careful on the exit. He's going to have to really cover that one up and hug that inside line to ensure as they come through Goddard's, he's going to remain ahead. He's just having to back out a little bit there. But not having the best corners there as Pearson. Gibson, Barkley, Barkley just strolling down through the order, maybe another victim of a slowdown he's having to burn off. And this is the trouble, if you pick one up in these early stages, you stand to lose a lot of places. Dunn, he's had a good start up into 5th in the Hyundai. Oh, as we just see Fraser Geraghty there in one of the Insignia cars, running incredibly wide in the Honda Civic Type R, but Dunn making light work of Pearson there. Dandridge following through the 2 Hyundais, making progress. Oh, and there's spinners in the background. Oh, down at the old hairpin. As we see here on the replay, Jacob Money, wow, nudged sideways there and then came back out across the track. No fault of his own. That put pay to his race. As we see Stephen Fry here. Jack Mace having a right duel, 2 Hondas trying to drag it out, but I tell you what, Mace has made light work of that one. You see the 22 there, John Bailiff just losing a few places, and now Fry is in full attack mode. Isaac Barkley is the next target for him in 9th place, but a bit further up, Dandridge trying to make a bit of progress. Of course, he had a good outing last time out at Silverstone. Here the perennial door banging happens so often in touring cars. It's kind of accustomed to it as Michael Gray there having to defend from Fry on the exit of Goddard's. We come round to start off onto lap 3, and already so much drama. Tari so far and McGarrity, Goodacre after a strong showing last time, he's already retired. Neil and Van Olst as well, all into the pits. So we see Scott Malcolm here. He's got Mace on, tucked up right behind him. An absolute gaggle of cars all queuing up to try and make a way through, but you're going to struggle to do that on the grass there. But having said that, Mace carrying so much momentum through the old hairpin, he's actually somehow managed to make it work. Barkley didn't, and he falls through the order in the Audi RS3. He's down to 10th now after what was a really strong start. We look back from Scott Malcolm and the Team Mad Simultal Audi RS3 being hunted down by Mace, but he's starting to pull out a little bit of a gap here. And Isaac Barkley now down to 12. Just goes from bad to worse for him. Likewise, his teammate Martin Pearson. Onto the brakes. Through the fog CSs. Who's going to get the best exit? And wow, look at the exit Pearson has got there. Left Martin completely and utterly standing. And Martin now is going to lose yet another place. Goldie's slotting up the inside in the Hyundai Veloster there. In stunning fashion, Elliott sets the new fastest lap of the race so far. We're only on lap 4 out of 12 in race 1. And those times are going to come down as the fuel starts to burn off. Drivers start to get out into some fresh air. But interesting, our leaders, they're starting to catch up with some back markers. As we look back to a replay of the start. And what a start it was from Al Neal, swooping round the outside, but just that understeer hurting him so badly there. And that's what started off all the argy-bargy. And Neal spun around. We look from, this is Gibson's point of view, to the brakes. You can see it all unfolding. He got a great exit, but 3 wide there. Through Hollywood was never going to end well. Van Olsten, Neal, well, they ended up paying the price for it. So gutting for Neal after that epic start from him, but Mace now under attack because Young in the Hyundai is pulling out alongside. He's going to have the work cut out, but I tell you what, around the outside there's contact. There's contact through the fog of the S's. Oh, and Young's going to get a slowdown for that one. But they need to be careful of Gray because he's going to make his way through in the Honda Civic Type R, picking up the scraps that the other two left him and absolutely dining out on them to get up 2 places into 9th. Good result for him. There's a bit of contact in the background there between Young and Mace. To see all the way down in 20-second battles up and down the field. Morris and Money going hard at it here. The drag race up to Goddard's. And Money on the inside. Surely this has got to be his corner. But what sort of exit can Morris get? Well, Money saw that one coming. Just slowed up on the exit a little bit to cover things off. Looks like he's going to hold on to this potentially. So he's managed to get back across the track. To be on the inside. But I tell you what, Morris. What a move potentially. Oh, and there's door banging on the exit. Money getting the elbows out and just shouldering Morris. And that Hyundai Elantra out wide and onto the gravel. This battle before between Gibson and Dandridge. Audi RS3, the oldest of the TCRs on the RAC service versus the newest, the Hyundai Veloster. And who is going to come out on top? Dandridge really closing up onto the back of Gibson as they come through the fog TS's. Who's got the best exit? Well, it looks like it's the Veloster of Dandridge, and he's going to squeeze through on the inside. Who's going to be last to the late breakers? Is Dandridge going to run it in too deep? But Gisberson looking for the switchback here. But Dandridge says, I've got this one covered, and heads straight to the inside line to make it so hard for Gibson, who's looking for another switchback yet again. As they come over the start-finish straight, we're going to head out onto lap 7. There's a flash of the lights from Gibson in the Audi, clearly saying, what a move. Off you go. It's yours now, Dandridge. Or maybe something like that anyway. Can Gibson snatch this place back from Dandridge? As we're at half a race distance now. Come down through the Kranikers towards the old hairpin. Tricky corner. Looks like it should be a lot faster than what it should be. Really is. Really tightens up on corner exit. Dandridge just pulling out around about half a tenth. Working in overtime right now to try and break that slipstream. Talking about slipstreams. Wow, Jack Mace is tucked up right behind Isaac Barkley now. Trying to find a way past. What can he do as he heads to the inside? It's always a tricky place to make a move into McLean's. Looks like, I'll tell you what, Pearson here, he could, well, get a move Dunn as he heads to the inside into the fog. Yes, is not always necessarily the quickest route through, and they're side by side, and that's gonna be a slowdown there for Mace, and he's gonna have to burn that one off. And Crowther says, "Thank you very much. I'll have that place from you." And nearly the Insignia driver gets past Pearson, but he has to just get on the brakes and back out of it. Pearson defending for his life right now. He's got that praise from Mace, and he does not want to lose yet another one. So come through Goddard. Mace is straight back onto things, and you'd be utilising the straight line power that Honda Civic Type R. But these two are still at it. Dandridge versus Gibson. Hyundai Veloster versus Audi RS3. Down through the crane of curbs. And Gibson just needs to remain as close as possible to Dandridge to give himself a big overtaking opportunity into either the Faulty S's or the Melbourne hairpin. Or is he going to maybe just line him up for a move down into turn 1 Redgate? Needs to be seen. It's John Bailiff trying to make his way. So Stephen Fry here trying to make his way past Gray. Bailiff right behind him as well. 3 cars covered by a second. Just shows the close competitive nature that is touring cars. It's an absolute classic touring car circuit. It is Donington Park. John Bailiff just swooping through there all the time he can, but Max Morganson, well, you see, mate, he is out in the front. He is clear. 3 seconds ahead of Elliott already after 8 laps. Just trying to bring it home. Elliott, he's got a big gap, nearly 5, well, just over 5 seconds, in fact, to Smith. 3 different manufacturers. Great to see it in the top 3 overall. In terms of Goldies is currently leading that one in 15th overall with Morris and Martin making up the podium. That being dominated by the Hyundais. Right now, this battle is still going on, and they're even closer now. Gray, Fry, and Bailiff. Gap up down to only, what, some 7/10 of a second now. Only half a lap ago, it was a second, and that is Jacob Money into the pits. Is that going to be another retirement here? In race 1, potentially. Gray be desperately looking forward to getting along Starkey straight, so he can open up the taps on that Honda Civic sidebar. That's the strong point. But equally, Bailiff just looming behind. What can he do on Gray? It's Fry, sorry. No. Hyundai to come onto the brakes through the Foxy S's, the left, right. And then down towards the Melbourne hairpin. We're going to see a bit of a lunge here. Bailiff looking for a bit of a move up the inside. So he throws out the anchors to get it turned in. And that is the move done. And he is ahead of Fry. And he's up into 9th. A great move there from Bailiff. As we come through Goddard's now. Oh, Fry getting incredibly close into braking there. Maybe a little bit too harsh on the brakes. That's going to allow Bailiff just to scamper away. The 2 Hondas really pulling out some gap there. Head through turn 1 now. We're going to see Gray catch up onto the back of Malcolm potentially. And John's here. He's looking for a bit of a move on Jack Mace. Of course, Mace near the front. Oh, and elbows out between the 2 Hondas. So we come through Hollywood, down through Crane of Curbs. Johns has sort of forced a move there, but it's been efficient. He's got it done. He's up into 13th. Mason will be desperate to reclaim that one back off him as quick as possible. He's got 3 laps, including this one, in which to do so. So he's still got plenty of overtaking opportunities. The beauty of Donington is there are plenty of overtaking spots around here. So it's not all lost yet. It's not quite as desperate as what you initially may think. Come down Skarky straight. Back up to this battle. Wow. Malcolm has now been enveloped into the grey. Bailiff and Fry battle. Anderson setting a new fastest lap of the race there. 1:36 dead for him. And the Honda Sim Type R just cruising to victory right now. Well, Malcolm, he's gone from being in a comfortable 7th place to now being hoovered up by this cluster of 3 cars behind him. And this is going to be an uncomfortable last couple of laps here for the Scot, the Team Mad Smortal. He's going to have to think about defending soon here from Gray. So we head down through Craner curves into the old hairpin. So crucial to get your line right, to make sure you don't run wide. Look, Gray finding a bit of traction on the exit there with a little bit onto the dirt. And he is sucked up right on to the bumper of Scott Malcolm ahead. Just sizing him up, moving around the bakery area, just trying to distract him. Desperate to make Malcolm to look into his mirrors, to miss his braking point, to miss a turning point. Anything he can do on these last couple of laps here to find a way past, to head through the fog of the S's once more. But Malcolm needs to be careful, because if he backs him up a bit too much, he could have a bit of a lunging attack over on the next lap potentially from Bailiff, who's, after making that way, his way past Fry, is hungry for making up another position. He can see it in front of him, he can touch it practically. And Malcolm taking the much wider entry there, just trying to straighten up the exit to get on the power as early as possible. So we see Bailiff run wide there. This could go absolutely any way between these 4. 2 laps to go in a race 1. Anderson leads from Elliott, Smith, Dandridge, Gibson up to 5th, then Dunn, Malcolm, Gray, Bailiff, Fry. You can see this battle right now taking you up to 10th place. In Am, Goldie's still leading the way. Morris has made his way up to 2nd in Am with Simmons 3rd, and ran out Am podium again. The Honda is locking that one out. They are 15th, 16th, 17th respectively overall right now, but it is all about this battle for 7th place. And Gray is harrying and harassing Malcolm right now, forcing him to take shallower lines. And Gray really pushing it hard. There's a flash of the lights there from Bailiff. Equally trying to hoover up some scraps and trying to distract Gray here. And he's Malcolm being tactful here, trying to back up Gray into Bailiff and Fry. It is so hard when you have to not only attack but also try and defend from the car behind you. As Gray swoops to the inside, just trying to cover off Bailiff, who's going to try and squeeze his way right around the outside. He's going to try and take the long way round, but it's not going to work. And Gray just about holding on to the 8th place now. Malcolm surely breathing a sigh of relief when he saw Gray having to defend once again. Malcolm once again favouring that wide entry. That swooping line, the white flag flies. 1 lap left to go in race 1. Anderson, Elliott and Smith, well, that's looking like your podium overall. Well, remains to be seen come the checkered flag, but this battle for 7 could go absolutely anyway. There is your leader, Mats Borg Anderson, Norwegian of Pulses Esports, looking really comfortable out the front. He's coming round Coppice right now. Has got a whopping 4.6 second advantage over Elliott. Even if he picks up a slowdown, he will be safe and comfortable. Only 2 corners left, the Melbourne hairpin and Goddard for Anderson to traverse. Just keeping up to date, Malcolm, Gray, Bailiff and Fry still remain as they are in 7th, 8th and 9th and 10th respectively. Likewise in Am, Goldies, Morris and Simmons still remaining on the podium. They are still 15th, 16th and 17th respectively. But out through Goddard for the final time in race 1 with a weave and a flash of the lights. Anderson is your victor here in race 1 and his first victory of the season But this is all kicking off right through to the final corner. This is going to be a race to the line. Who will come out on top? Will it be the Audi? There's Bailiff. Oh, is he that wide line? Is it actually not going to pay off him? Gray pushing alongside. This is going to be millimetres across the line. And Gray somehow just didn't quite have enough there to make his way past. Well, let's run you through your results from race 1. Mats Borg Anderson taking his first victory of the season, with Ryan Elliott in second and Ryan Smith rounding out your podium. Tom Dandridge, he finished fourth with Joseph Gibson. It's in the end some 2.5 seconds behind him in fifth place. Shane Dunn, much better result from him in sixth. We'd be happy with that one. Malcolm Ware, the pressure that Gray put under him, still kept hold of seventh place, with Gray only, 1.5 attempts behind him. Gray in so Bailiff in 9th and Fry rounding out your top 10. Isaac Barkley in 11th and his teammate Martin Pearson. Those two had cracking starts which fell through the order and really attempt separating those two at the line. 11th and 12th. Jack Jones 13th with Mace in 14th. Then it was our podium in with Goldies, Edwards and Simmons taking that one. Then we had Duncan Seal taking up to 18th place. Shaker Money in 20th after that pit stop. Really hurting him badly. Scott Morris in 21st. We had Elliot James in 22nd. And the first of the drivers a lap down likewise was Clist. Garrity, Young, Alfie McGarrity. Then 3 laps down was Dan Thornton. And into retirements, Crowther. We lost 5 laps to go. Neil. 2 laps into the race, likewise with Goodacre. Van Ols, we lost after the first lap. Rounds out your field. But now, in the intermission, you know how we like to have a bit of a chat about circuit history. Something different for this week. I'd love your input down below in the comments on this one. Of course, we are so close to the start of the new season of the British Touring Car Championship. It is fast approaching. And this year, we see a change in the powertrains being used by the teams. Of course, they're switching across to hybrid power. Now, some may argue that this is long overdue, as motorsport generally tends to reflect what's happening in the real world. And of course, hybrid power has been with us for quite a while now. And it's the biggest change to powertrains, arguably, I would say, since back in 2008 when we saw the Seat Leon diesel being used. Now this sort of got me thinking, how long before we see an all-electric EVA series, or do the British Touring Car series move across to all-electric? It's a bit of an interesting one. I mean, do you think we should ever lose the internal combustion engine? Part of it going to a race or watching on the telly is the visceral environment where you've got the sound of the engines pumping through, and one of the big complaints about Formula E is the sound, and electric cars in general, is the sound they make, or well, lack of sound generally. But how would that affect things maybe? I mean, should there potentially be a separate electric British Touring Car Championship? Of course, one of the things with Formula E that we have seen is brought in so many manufacturers to the Formula Sport. The Formula Motorsport even, and what could this potentially see? A wave, a raft of new manufacturers coming back to touring cars when they're looking to utilise and show off and improve their electric cars. It's a bit of an interesting one. Love to know your thoughts down below in the comments. Here we are for race 2. Van Olst on pole, flashing the lights to get things underway. And we are away here in race 2. And I tell you what a start from 3 ways back. Garrity, absolutely electric Insignia. But it's Neil versus Van Olst. These two came together in the opening stages of race 1. And Van Olst up the inside. Oh, there's plenty of door banging and bumper banging going on in the background as one of the Insignia's incredibly wide. Is that McGarrity again? Yes, it is, after the electric start that he made in the Hyundai. He's down to 7. And there's a big pack of cars swaving their way through the old hairpin for the first time out onto the grass there. Didn't quite catch who that was. But Neil now really pressuring Van Olst. The two Audi RS3s going head to head. Garrity, it wasn't him. Sorry, it was Garrity, of course, who we lost earlier. Garrity, he's not far behind. And he'll be desperate for these two to keep battling, because that means he's going to close into them even quicker. But as we head down Starkey Straits, Neil pulls out from the slipstream and looking to take the lead here. And he's going to get the move done. But Van Olst trying to fight back, trying to carry as much momentum as he can through the S's. And you get the feeling these two are going to be side by side for so much of the race. So little between them in terms of driver performance. Of course, both running exactly the same car. But Neil is ahead. And I tell you what, Chris Young, out of nowhere, due to all this battling, he has now come into the mix as well in the Hyundai Elantra. And not content with that one, he looks like he's going to head up the inside into turn 1 to display Garrity from the podium positions here. But Garrity not having any of it, getting a much better exit out of Rick Hayes to come through Hollywood, down through the Cana curves, and Garrity has got the move done, instantly taking that third place back from Young. And they're both going to run wide out onto the grass. Garrity, he's still not even back on the track, but here comes Young round the outside. They go side by side once more, and Young swoops down to reclaim the place that he just lost momentarily out of turn 1. You see Barkley in a right fight here with Fry, I think, in there. Garrity, sorry. I think to separate these two. Barkley getting the move done, and Fry now wanting a piece of the pie, and he's getting bump drafted practically along here. Boy, I think that's Johns, isn't it? Pushing him along. Johns heads to the inside. He's looking to look to get the move done, and they're going to all emerge. Somehow they do in one piece. I don't know how they managed that. They're basically attached to the hip, those two, as they entered the fog of the S's. And Bailiff trying to follow his teammate through, work together as a pack here. So we see Thornton lose a place. It's got James pulling up alongside him. Thornton wanting that place straight away back from Bailiff, but oh, that running one is going to cost them. And there's a big concertina effect. Like you get on a motorway accident through the final corner. Everyone moving left to right, just trying to find an inch of space. We're going to have 3 wide, potentially into turn 1. Hold tight, everyone. We've got some 7 cars all on top of one another here. And Mats Morgansen, he's a race 1 winner. He's right in the middle of it, trying to fight his way through the pack. He's had a great start to get himself up to 12. So we ride on board with Elliott. Hyundai drivers. Simply Veloster. That is Anderson ahead of him. He's clever, he'll follow Anderson through here. So they all head out. Somehow, I'm not sure how these guys have all managed to not crash into one another and not end in a big accident. There's the group of 3 in front of them. Fry, McGarrity and Johns pulling away. The last thing they want to do is get caught up into the peloton of cars. Oh, is there sideways action in the background there? Was that Anderson? Yes, it was. Your race 1 winner. Just about held on to it. And now on to the attack. After losing a couple of places and moving around there, he's on to the attack once again. Elliott now, he's taking control of this group. Al Neil, new fastest lap. We're on lap 4 out of 12 already. I'm not sure where these first 4 laps have gone. It's been action all the way up and down the field. But I'll tell you what, these 6 still haven't sorted themselves out yet. They're still squabbling. Pearson onto the outside there. Malcolm just ahead of him. Thornton, don't discredit him whatsoever. They're all starting to just space out a little bit now. Except for these 2, Malcolm and Pearson. So they come through the old hairpin and they keep it on the track where we've seen so many people run wide have to rejoin the track. Well, curse the commentator as Pearson goes sideways there. Holds on to it, Tokyo drift style. But out in front, Neil is pulling away from Van Hulst. The gap nearly half a second now to the Belgian. And they have really pulled away from Chris Young, who's equally pulled away from Money as well. And Young clearly wise to get that move done incredibly early. As Anderson making up another place. That is your AMP leader, McGarrity, 11th overall now in the Hyundai Elantra. The rest of the AMP podium is Simmons and Morris. Getting all Hyundai podium in AMP, and oh no! They're going to almost end in the pit lane. They were fighting that badly between the pair of them. There's Barkley there and Geraghty. See a flash of the lights in the background there. I think that's Anderson, isn't it? It's Johns all centered up the inside. Barkley will not be impressed by that one. I'm sure they'll be having words to say as Barkley. Oh, he's headed off track straight into the tyre barrier there. That is broken front left suspension. That is his race done and dusted. But they started all the way back at Goddard's between these two. Almost ending up in the pit lane. As they headed down towards turn 1. So Johns make the big lunge up the inside there. I mean, there was half a gap there, but well, not sure that move was fully on there. As we see Pearson, he's had a bit of a mixed race here. Likewise in race 1. Trying to find a way past Alfie McGarrity, 11th, so your leader in AM. As much as McGarrity will be loving this fight, he needs to be a little bit careful because he falls off the road. Doesn't want to lose that victory in AM. John's not content with making it one place on this lap. He's going for another one. He's now fighting it out with Insignia. McGarrity. Somehow, yet again, John's on the attack. We're going to have a free wide across the start-finish line. Johns ducks back in, heads down right to the inside. He's swooping left, he swoops right, he swoops back left again. And Johns can't find a way through as Geraghty and Money come together on the exit. The two Honda City Type R's back doors and they head free wide once more. And Money still holds on from Geraghty, Fry, Johns. And here comes Elliott on the attack. The Hyundai Veloster wanting some of the action. As they head underneath Starkey's Bridge. This is just going to be another dogfight right to the finish. Half race distance here in race 1. Neil still leading from Van Hulst. Young third, Money. And then into this battle, Geraghty, Fry, Johns, Elliott, Anderson isn't far behind either. And Money at the front of this train, under attack from Geraghty. Geraghty swoops up to the inside, but he's going to be on the outside for the exit. Who's going to get the best exit off the corner? Well, the Honda of Geraghty absolutely rocketed off the exit. And this is going to be the move done ahead of turn 1. You just see in the background, Elliott looking incredibly racy here. As we see Anderson and Johns both opting for that inside line. The two teammates from Pulses Esports. And oh no, that's Fry. He's got to have picked up a slowdown through the Fogsy X's because he's dropped a load of places incredibly quickly. He pulled off to the side of the track there almost to let everyone through. But once again, nothing to separate these 6. Just over a second, covering 6 cars. This is what we love about touring cars. Tight, close fighting, banging doors, drama from the get-go right to the finish. And Anderson could lose a place to Elliott here. Oh, side by side through the old hairpin. This normally never ends well, but somehow it does. And Elliott's going to squeeze his way past Max Morg Anderson. And Elliott up into 7th. A great drive from him. But here comes Johns. He's already past Geraghty. He's now looking to find a way past Money. Honda versus Honda versus Honda between the top 3 of this group. But don't discredit Elliott and that Hyundai Veloster. As we see, Van Olst, he's now close right up. He's found a couple of attempts out of Neil over the course of the last lap or so. And now really mounting a challenge. Desperate to try and find a way past here. Van Olst just needs to side up. You can feel him just prodding and poking at Neil. See how much pressure Neil can absorb. The UK sim racing driver absorbing it like a treat right now. A flash of the lights now coming on from Van Olst. Just to do his best to distract Neil. As we see all these lot are at it once again. And Elliott right involved. Likewise is Jack Johns. The two protagonists and Anderson getting into the fight as well. Sleeves rolled up from everyone. Some absolutely classic epic action from these 6. The trouble is that Pearson's now caught up onto the back of them. And likewise, it's Malcolm. So this is getting a very, very interesting fight between these guys now. So we see Elliott now up to 3rd in this train. So he swoop through. What can Elliott do? You just see at the front there. But oh no! That's Ricky Edwards from 2nd in AM. The Audi RS3. Tried to get that move done, and just as they swoop by, Kliss coming up, absolute pressure from Gray. Gray had an epic race 1, not fared so well in race 2. And he's going to try and squeeze it right round the outside, do the hard work, and they bang doors once more. Oh no! I'm not too sure about that one. And Kliss is definitely going to feel aggrieved. The Apex Racing Academy driver. Sure there'll be some shaking of the fist going on in the cockpit there. There's money at the front of this group. Taking the line that we saw Scott Malcolm take quite often in race 1. That wide line is swooping down, just trying to tighten up the exit. Get on the power as early as possible. But I tell you what, Johns is tucked up right behind him. But here comes Elliott, just bump drafting. Money there. But it's not good enough, or is it, as Johns? Well, quite often he's been the car on the inside and he's elbowed people out wide. And this week, so this time, it's his turn to get the cold shoulder of the elbow. So he swooped down through the old hairpin, lap 9 out of 12. Elliott goes defensive to the outside. But here comes Malcolm. He's getting into the fight. Pearson trying his best to claw up onto the back of this train to get involved. So we see McGarity now being chased down by Smith and Dunn. McGarity still leading in AM. James 2nd in AM. Edwards, he's still on the podium in AM. Largely thanks to that incident that Kliss had with Gray. A bit of a nudge through there from Smith to give McGarity a bit of the hurry up. Of course, the overall championship playing a part. Flash the lights there from Dunn saying, oh, I'm here, don't forget about me. And all runs it in a bit deep there to Smith, and surely this is going to be Dunn's chance to pull alongside and get past now. But it's not going to be quite enough. So we're going to see Smith defend to that inside and keep there. And Smith gives him maybe a bit too much room. And if Dunn can just keep his nose in it, then sure he's going to come ahead. But, well, this lot are at it once again into turn 1. But, oh, contact in the mid-pack there. That was money. And I think, well, I didn't quite catch who that was at the back there. Might have been Johns potentially. Pearson now fully involved in this group. Likewise is Malcolm. 2.5 laps remaining in race 2. And everything still to play for. As we said in the previous race, plenty of overtaking opportunities around Donington. So this race is not done and dusted. These lot, you get the feeling that they are going to change places numerous times. But Elliott and Anderson are now pulling away, starting to give themselves a bit of a gap between themselves and the trailing pack behind. As here comes Anderson, he's got a good run through the fog as he is, but McGarrity's under pressure. Smith trying to squeeze his car for the smallest of gaps up the inside, and he's going to get it done and hit, but here comes Dunn, trying to bounce his way across the course, but look at Dandridge steaming through like a freight train there, and takes the place off Dunn, and nearly gets McGarity as well. But Smith saying thank you very much. He's headed off into the distance. That secured the place for me. Looks a little bit vulnerable there on the exit of the Fogsy S's. 2 laps remaining. Elliott leads from Anderson, then Johns, Fry, McGarity, Pearson and Malcolm trading places money at the tail end of this group right now. As we come through Hollywood, down through Craner curves towards the old hairpin. And Anderson, oh, he's so close. He's almost bumping Elliott along here, pushing him along, trying to distract him. He is right onto his rear bumper, practically underneath his rear wing. And Elliott just blinking out a little bit there. That would have unsettled Anderson a little bit. Elliott still defensive to the inside. What can Anderson do? The gap to Johns behind and the trailing pack is closing. They're coming up. And if Anderson wants to get past Elliott, he needs to do this quickly. He needs to do it efficiently. He's not going to be able to do it here. He's not got quite good enough run. He has to start getting behind Elliott once more. Hyundai Veloster versus Honda Civic Type R. The Honda's got a better drag. As Elliott knows that, goes defensive instantly to the inside. And Max Morganson looking for the switch back, but that's going to give him the outside line through Goddard's. And Elliott, you feel, just going to hold on to this one more time. But Anderson really just keeping his car there. But here comes Johns, his teammate. He's pulled alongside Anderson now. Now these two need to be careful. The last thing you want is when a blue on blue, taking out your teammate. And that's played right into Elliott's hands, but El Neal and Van Olst, well, they've been inseparable. The gap has fluctuated between 2 tenths and 4 tenths the whole race. Neal just needs to hold on for roughly about half a lap more to secure what will be his first victory this season. His first victory, actually, to be fair, in the whole of VBTCR as well. Just keeping up to date with McGarity still leads away, James and Edwards making up that podium. Finally, we could see a breakup of the dominance and Hyundai in the AM category. But right now, it is the 2 Audis. Van Olst is running out of time, running out of opportunities. He needs to get an absolutely epic run out the Melbourne hairpin. But has Neil done enough? I think he might have just done this potentially. Just Goddard left to go. Neil on the inside. What sort of exit can Van Olst get? Oh, and he almost touches it. He almost pushes him wide. But Neil's going to hold on to it with a flash of the lights to claim his first victory of the season. His first victory in the championship. Van Olst has himself second. Young. A great result from him in the Hyundai to finish third. But these lot are still at it. They haven't given up. There's one corner left to go. Pearson tries to slip it. Oh, but he runs it in a bit too deep. And Malcolm just comes underneath him and reclaims the place and gets himself up to 9th. What a battle it has between those guys. As Dandridge trying to make a move on Swift from the dying stages here. But I think it's going to be a little bit too late for him. Smith, he's going to hold on to 13th. McGarity taking the victory in AM. Wow. What a race that was. Race 2 never fails to deliver on action, drama and excitement. And Al Neal getting his first victory of the season for the UK Sim Racing team. Sam Van Olst, the Belgian, in second place for Goldwing Motorsport. I mean, just under half a second separating those two, as it was for pretty much the entirety of the race from pretty much corner 1 of lap 1. Chris Young, a great result for him, into second place, his first time onto the podium for Ignium Motorsport. But then a big gap to that absolutely epic battle. Elliott coming out on top, Max Morganson in 5th, Jack John 6th, Fry, he was 7th for UK Sim Racing with insignias, Garrity in 8th, Malcolm 9th and Pearson 10th. Those two just swapping places right at the end. Money 11th, then Gibson, Smith, Dandridge, Dunn, your winner in McGarrity, Gray and John Bailiff. I mean, great drive from McGarrity. Really held his own amongst the pro drivers. That's going to really help him for the rest of the season with confidence. Fulton 19th, Clist ranked 2nd place in 20th overall. Then Simmons 21st, 3rd in Martin, not the drivers lightweight, it's James as well. 22nd, 23rd, Jack Mace and Ricky Edwards, last drivers finished on the lead lap. Lap down was Goldies and Steele. Then into the retirement, Scott Marisol 7 laps ago. Isaac Barkley, getting for him, of Sapphire Simsport, lost 8 laps ago. And then on the opening lap, was Morris, a good acre as well. And what does that mean for the championship standings? Well, Mats Borgansen, he's at 4 places to take charge at the front for Pulses Esports on 157 points. Now 20-point gap to Ryan Elliott. He's made up 9 places. What a climb for him. Tom Dandridge, he's moved up, well, down a couple of places. He's now in 3rd. Martin Pearson down 1 into 4th. Jack Johns, he's up to 1st with Al Neal climbing up to a place to 6th. Gibson in 7th on 107 points with Smith just behind him, a point behind him. Fry and Money running out in the top 10. Money really suffering this round. 6 places on 96 points. He's 10 points ahead of John Bailiff, who's in 11th. Sam Van Olsen, much better round this time out. See himself climb 5 places to 84 points, 12th position. Persch, of course, our winner from race 1 last time out, wasn't with us, a German, so he falls 11 places there to 13th. Garrity, Dunn, Malcolm, Murray and Barkley. That section up to 18th. Then Chris Young holding on to that place with a great podium in race 2. Neil Goodacre, well, he'll be glad to see the back of Donington Park after an absolutely epic podium overall for the AM driver last time out. And then we've got Gray, Sai, who wasn't with us this week, Morris, Mace, Clist, Edwards, Simmons in 27th. And incredibly tight this section now. We've got Thomas Coombe, it's only 2 points behind Simmons in 28th. Kent, Martin and Goldies all tied on 24 points for 29th place. Of course, Kent down 8 places to TR, powered by Geeks Energy driver. After McGarrity, he is on 20 points, so not far off that, chasing the guys in front of him. Mark McKay down 11 places on 19 points, 33rd with Steele. James, section of the championship. Wow. Let's see what that means for the rookie side. Well, Goodacre still holding on to the lead in AM with Sky in 2nd place. Morris in 3rd. Clist, he's up a place. Likewise, Ricky Edwards and Simmons. Those guys 4th, 5th and 6th on 35 and 29 points respectively for them. Nick Kent now down 3 places to 7th in the AM Championship. Tied on points with William Martin. He's just been quietly going about his business. Not a Peter Goldies of Checkers Racing. After Garrity rounding out your top 10 in he is on 20 points with Duncan Steele and Elliot James both tied on 17 points. Incredibly close at the sharp end is the AM Championship, and that could go absolutely any way. And you know, from experience, especially in race 2, there's always a good chance for big results for some of those drivers. Let's take a look at the team's championship, while Pulses Esports still leading the way, but extending the gap now on 282 points. UK Sim Racing, they are now up 2 places into 2nd on 212. Only just though, because Mad for Mini Huskinveld only 2 points behind them on 210. Sapphire Simsport, well, maybe not the best of rounds for them. They could have made good progress, and they drop a place to 4th on 168, but they do have a comfortable cushion of some 27 points for to go win Motorsport. Third racing team, they remain in 6th on 132, with Team Ord up 2 places on 122 points. Positively Racing, they're down a place to 8th, tied on points though with Insignia, who climbed 3 places and get themselves up onto 96 points. Checkers Racing rounding out your top 10, only 2 points behind. 2 teams in front of them are 94. Sped Motorsport, TR powered by Geeks Energy, Team Matsumoto, Ignition Motorsport, Spotless Motorsport, down to 13th place. But wow, what can we say? I feel almost drained just watching that and commentating on that one. I dread to think how the drivers feel whatsoever. But what about that battle in race 2 for 4th place? Not even for a chance on the podium. And there weren't even AM drivers in it, so it's not like they were battling out for the win in AM. It was just everything being laid on the line. So close between all of them. I mean, credit to Anderson and Neil for getting their first victories in the season, and that now means that, well, in AM and in Pro as well, obviously after Mugari taking that victory there in AM in race 2, that now means that for both sides of the championship, we have had 4 winners from 4 races across the 2 rounds. Of course, Elliott, the only consistent driver in Pro. But overall, he has got 2 podiums to his name. Sky likewise as well, and also Edwards in AM. So interesting ones for that one. Of course, Goodacre with that victory in AM last time out at Silverstone, always a classic. Now, wow, where do we go from here? Well, I think a lie down for all of us, but next time out we're heading to Alton Park. It's the international version of the circuit without the Britain's chicane. Now that's going to be all about who's going to get the best exit out of Shell Oils and carry that momentum all the way down the backstretch towards his lots, where it's going to be big braking, big drama. Alton Park, a tight circuit. It's a classic touring car circuit though. And I cannot wait. It's going to deliver on drama just like we have here at Donington once again. I've been Tim Cox with Shane Dunn at the VBTCR Press Centre. Goodbye.
This May, the virtual British TCR Championship is heading on an Asian escape for the Season 2 Joker round. Fans and drivers will get to vote which of these 4 amazing racetracks will see our pro drivers visiting in just a few weeks' time. Suzuka, Okayama, Tsukuba, and Twin Ring Motegi. Voting is now open. Make sure you head over to the VBTCR website to cast your vote before the 27th of April.